Okay, hi everybody. Today I'm going to chat about liquid fueled stoves and specifically their fuel. Now, YouTube is an international platform using different languages and also different terminology within the same languages. My first language is English, specifically the Scottish variant. I use terminology that may differ from someone in the US or other English speaking countries like Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. Also, some words are international and can transcend language barriers, but they don't always mean the same thing. These stoves here are what I would call petrol stoves. However, that can cause confusion, as I consider petrol to be the same as white gas, naphtha, benzene, shellite, Coleman fuel, alkylate petrol, alkylate benzene, heptane, essence, or gasoline, to name a few. But if we look at what I call paraffin stoves, using a totally different fuel like this Optimus 111, some countries call the fuel for these types of stoves kerosene, lamp oil, or petroleum or petrol. Confusing? Yep. Potentially dangerous? Possibly. The UK uses petrol for gasoline fuel due to historical reason and the term's association with the refined fuel that was originally used in motor vehicles. This was actually trademarked in the UK with the term petrol. Other countries, including those that use petroleum to describe kerosene, also have their own distinct terms for the fuel, often stemming from their own historical or linguistic context. Other countries, like the United States, adopted the term gasoline as a name for that particular fuel for motor vehicles. In some European countries, they'll use terms like essence or benzene or benzinus. Petroleum or petrol refers to the crude oil, the raw material from which fuels like gasoline and kerosene are derived. Kerosene is a different type of refined petroleum and it's often called petroleum or kerosene in other countries. The specific terms used for gasoline and other fuels can vary widely across different countries and regions, hence the reference to YouTube being an international platform. And mea culpa, I'm trying to avoid using the term petrol, but it's a difficult habit to break. In this video, I'll be using the terms white gas and kerosene respectively. The thing is, if I'm using the term petrol or petroleum for a gasoline fueled stove, it could cause problems for viewers using a different language or from a different part of the world to me. Now, for my stove, I use an alkylate petrol for my white gas gasoline stoves. To be exact, Aspen T4. I use a C2 kerosene or paraffin for my kerosene paraffin stoves. And I use bioethanol in my alcohol stoves. If you're using a liquid fuel stove, learn exactly what fuel it uses. Learn what fuel it is in your own language. Never try to use white gas in a kerosene stove. Most traditional kerosene stoves do not have a safety valve. If the pump non-return valve fails, you're going to get white gas escaping as either vapour or liquid, with a big risk of a fireball and injury. Of course, a stove like the Optimus 111 does have a safety valve in the tank, and it does have a proper valve. It's almost like a hybrid design. Now, using kerosene in a stove designed for white gas probably isn't as dangerous, but it will clog up your stove. It will be very smoky and sooty, and it will make it difficult to start. Of course, there are some multi-fuel stoves out there, such as the MSR Whisperlite International, or my own favourite, the Edelrid Hexon. They will run on white gas, kerosene and diesel. White gas stoves will run on autogas for a while. The additives and ethanol added to the fuel for vehicles will gum up the stove after a while. Now, none of the pressure stoves that run on white gas or kerosene are meant to run on alcohol. My advice would be don't try it. Now, talking of alcohol, never use anything but alcohol, ethanol in a Trangia type stove. White gas and kerosene is a big no-no. The only confusing word I can think of for alcohol stoves with regard to fuel is the term spirit. In some places, white spirit is a solvent for cleaning paintbrushes. Don't use it as a fuel. For those international travellers, here are some of the words you need to look for when using an alcohol stove abroad. These are the types of fuel and their names. We have methylated spirit, spiritus, methyl hydrate, bioethanol, alcool à brûler, denatured spirit, heat, rod spirit, denatured alcohol, or any variant of alcohol in any language. I apologize for butchering some of those names. I wouldn't recommend rubbing alcohol just for the amount of soot that it gives off, and it isn't as good as, say, an ethanol or bioethanol. For further information, both MSR and Trangia have lists of fuel names on their websites to help you if travelling internationally with your stove. Hopefully this has been a little bit of help, and remember, read the manual for your stove, get the correct fuel, and be careful. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, like and subscribe, and see you next week. Bye-bye.